Hello students, welcome to Accounting Explained at Accountwise Academy. This is Lata Venkateshwaran. This is the part 4 video of the NCERT chapter 2 11th standard accountancy portion. The chapter name is Theory Base of Accounting. I have explained this chapter in a very easy way and with lot of examples so that you can understand the lesson very easily. If you want to look into the important questions and MCQs of this chapter, you can look into the shorts of our channel Accounting Explained at Accountwise Academy. I will share the chapter 2 other videos, part 1, part 2 and part 3 videos in the description box. In today's video, we are going to learn about Goods and Services Tax. Goods and Services Tax. One country, one tax. Tax on consumption. GST taxes the final use of goods and services, not their production or sale. So it's not taxed on the production or sale, only on the final use of the goods and services only it is taxed. Only the final customer who is going to use, the last customer, only then it is taxed. So it is a single tax on the supply of goods and services right from the manufacturer to the consumer, that is the last person who is going to consume the product, final product. Okay, it is a single indirect tax for the whole nation. For the whole nation, for whole of India, it is a single tax. That is why it is called as one nation, rather one country, one tax. Okay, it can be further split up and written as goods plus services plus tax gives us GST. What are the multiple components of GST which we are going to learn today? They are CGST, SGST, IGST and the credit system, which we are going to see elaborately today. We will see the first component of GST, which is CGST. Other name is Central Goods and Services Tax. Example 9% goes to the central government. See, the name itself is central government. That is why it is called as central. Okay, Central Goods and Services Tax. So, CGST is a tax levied on intrastate. Intrastate means what? Within the state. Supplies of both goods and services by the central government, and it will be governed by the CGST Act. It will include the following taxes. Examples of taxes which are covered under CGST are, first one is excise duty. Second, we can say service tax. And surcharge, etc. Okay, these are all the taxes which are covered by CGST and it is levied by the central government on intrastate goods and services supplies. Next is SGST, that is State Goods and Services Tax. Example 9%. We will take 9% as the tax levied by SGST, goes to the originating state, that is the state from which the goods or services have been originated. We can call SGST as a tax levied on intrastate. Again intrastate, that is within the state, supplies of both goods and services by the state government, and it is governed by the SGST Act. It will include the following taxes. Some of the taxes which was previously taxed and that come under SGST now are VAT or sales tax. Second, entertainment tax. Like previously it was charged in the cinema theatres, etc. were separately as entertainment tax. Now it comes under the bracket of goods and services tax. That is why it is called as one country, one tax. Okay, purchase tax, etc. IGST. IGST is integrated goods and services tax. That is the combination of CGST and SGST, and the rate is 18%. Because CGST is charging 9% and SGST will be charged at 9%. 9% plus 9% is 18%. And it applies to interstate transactions and imports. We saw CGST and SGST are intrastate transactions. But here when you come to integrated goods and services tax, it is interstate transactions between states and imports also. Okay. See, I'll explain this with an example. See, a dealer in Maharashtra sells goods to its dealer in Rajasthan worth 1 lakh. Let us see how much will be charged. So it comprises of, since it is interstate, it comprises both of CGST and SGST, right? So GST rate will be, rather IGST rate will be 18%. Comprising of CGST rate of 9% and SGST rate of 9%. So 1 lakh into 18% is, GST is 18,000 rupees, 18,000 as IGST will be charged. Credit system. Businesses get credit for previously paid GST, ensuring only the added value is taxed. Input, this is called as input credit. Input credit means at the time of paying tax on output. So when you are going to pay output tax, you can reduce the tax you have already paid an input. Input tax you can reduce and you can pay the balance amount. This is called as input credit. That is the credit system. Let's see this with an example. That is understanding the input credit. So you need inputs A, B and C to get an output. Okay, for purchase of A, you have paid a tax of rupees 100. For purchase of B, you have paid a tax of rupees 120. And purchase of input C, you have paid a tax of rupees 80. So total input tax, how much you have paid? Input tax is 100 plus 120 plus 80, it is 300 you have totally paid. And you need to pay an output tax of rupees 450. Tax to be paid by the manufacturer. How much is the tax to be paid by the manufacturer? Since you have already paid rupees 300, you are going to deduct rupees 450 first. You are going to take and deduct tax paid on inputs. That is 100 plus 120 plus 80 is rupees 300. Balance 150 is enough to be paid by the manufacturer. This 300 rupees which we have already paid, no, that is called as input credit. Because we are deducting from the output tax. That is why it is called as input credit. Now let us see how GST is calculated on intrastate sale and interstate sale. What is intrastate sale? Yes, within the state. So see here, Ramesh from Punjab sells to Seema from Punjab, same Punjab. So it is intrastate sale for rupees 10,000 with 18% GST. For that goods or services, 18% GST is charged, out of which 9%, it comprises of 9% CGST and 9% SGST. He collects rupees 1,800. 10,000 into 18%, it is 1,800 and pays rupees 900 to each government. That is 900 to central government and 900 to state government. Next it is interstate sale, that is between states. Ramesh from Madhya Pradesh sells to Anand from Rajasthan for rupees 10 lakhs with 18% IGST. Since it is interstate, now IGST comes into picture. What is IGST? Yes, integrated goods and services tax. He collects rupees 1,80,000, which is 10 lakhs into 18%, it is 1,80,000, and pays the entire amount to the central government. First, central government will collect the whole 1,80,000 and then will distribute to the respective states to both Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan. Remember, this is not the single GST rate. Remember the specific GST rates may vary depending on the goods or services are involved. So rates may vary according to the goods or services. Now let us see how GST works in India. Federalism. First is federalism. What is federalism? Federalism is a system of government where two levels of government share power over the same territory. So there are two levels of government. What are there in India? Two levels of government in India. They are central and the state government. So that is federalism. India's federal structure grants both central and state governments taxation powers. So in India, both central government and state government can have the taxation power. Dual system, same. This necessitates a dual GST. Since both central and state government can have the taxation power, we have dual GST system, that is CGST, that is central, SGST, that is state, and IGST, that is integrated. What is IGST? Just now we saw, no? IGST is total central government will collect, then it will distribute it to the respective governments. Okay. Responsibilities and resources. Each level of government has specific responsibilities requiring resource generation. So each government will have a specific responsibility. Constitutional alignment. The dual GST aligns with the constitutional division of fiscal power. What is fiscal power? Fiscal power is the ability of government, group or institution to generate revenue. Okay, so the GST will align with the constitutional power division to generate revenue for the country. Next is administration. Central government manages CGST and IGST and state manages SGST. This is the flowchart from your textbook. See, it's the direct tax is there, and in that indirect taxes and direct taxes are there. And we have some taxes which were charged previously by the central government and some taxes which are charged previously by the state government. And taxes which were charged by the central government previously were service tax, excise duty, CST, that is central state tax, customs duty, etc. And state also used to tax separately called VAT, value added tax, entry tax, octroi duty, luxury tax, etc. Now all these taxes, they have all been replaced and now it is called as GST. One tax, one nation. Okay. See, one country, one tax. That is GST. And next is direct taxes, under which we know income tax comes. Characteristics of goods and services tax. One tax, one nation. GST replaces many different taxes. We saw now with a single system across the country, making it simpler and more efficient. Tax at the checkout. GST is paid by the final consumer at the point of purchase. This also we saw, similar to sales tax. No more business to business tax. Only the final consumer is the person who is going to pay the GST, not the person previously, like not the manufacturer, not the supplier, nothing. Only the final consumer. Goods and services together. GST applies to both goods and services at the same rate. Okay, making it fairer and easier to understand. Credit for taxes paid. Businesses can claim back the GST they paid on their purchases, reducing their overall tax burden. What is that? Credit called as input credit. This we saw detailed thing previously. No more hidden taxes. GST eliminates various additional taxes like entry tax, octroi, providing greater transparency. So all these things have been eliminated and now we have only one thing called GST. Streamlined taxation. Businesses only need to comply with one tax system, reducing complexity and administrative costs. Advantages of goods and service taxes. Simpler taxes. GST replaces many old taxes with one system, making compliance easier and cheaper. So we saw separately many taxes were charged by the central government and many taxes were charged by the state government previously. Now everything has been replaced and only one tax that is being levied now, that is GST. Wider tax net. More people and businesses pay GST, increasing government revenue and reducing dependence on other taxes. Since it is only one tax to be paid by the end consumer, it is easier for the people and businesses to pay GST. So the government revenue also increases. Okay, less paperwork. Easier compliance means less paperwork. It is very easy because only one person has to bear that pay that tax ultimately. So it is less paperwork, and red tapeism has also been reduced, which is very good advantage for taking GST or for levying GST. Fairer rates. GST has a maximum of 2 tax rates. So it is very good and it is very fairer for the person who is using, and it is very predictable also. Reduce taxes. No more tax on tax. Similar to the first point, making goods and services potentially cheaper. Since there is no tax on tax, we have only one tax for the product. We can get the product at a cheaper rate also, or the services, whatever may be. Improved efficiency. Smoother movement of goods and services across states. Boosts production and trade. This IGST, after this IGST, integrated GST is there, no? So there is smoother movement of goods and services, and the production and trade has also increased across states. This is the flow chart taken from your textbook. Okay. See, GST is there. We have intrastate movement and interstate movement. Let us see intrastate movement. Intrastate means within the state, right? So in that we have CGST, that is central GST, and state GST, SGST. CGST is levied by the center. SGST is levied by the state. Next we have interstate movement, that is between the states. We have IGST. What is that? Integrated GST. That is GST levied by the center and states concurrently. Okay. With this, we are completing chapter 2, that is theory based of accounting of class 11 NCERT syllabus. Do like our video and share it with your friends if you find it helpful. Subscribe to our channel, which will encourage us to make more videos like this one. If you would like to inquire about the accountancy classes which I take, or to get more worksheets for problems with solutions, contact us at account.wiseacademy@gmail.com. Thank you for watching.